I feel lonely. I know the time can move so slowly, and in the distance I hear voices. Are they real or are they in my head? I'm lovesick. You got me lovesick, and I'm lovesick. You got me lovesick, and now I feel alive, feel alive, feel alive, feel alive, and now I feel alive. So many times they try to change me, and every time it drives me crazy. And all the good times we had saved me. Are they real or are they in my head? I'm lovesick. You got me lovesick, and I'm lovesick. You got me lovesick, and now I feel alive, feel alive. Feel alive, feel alive, and now I feel
Ready?
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Portland, Oregon on the Portland International Raceway, where the stars and cars of the iRacing Indy NXT Series will start a 5-week rush to end the season. My name is Sebastian Kinder. I'll be your host tonight on the Velocity Online Racing broadcast channel alongside then-Indy and directing this broadcast, as usual, the master of puppets, Julien Altena, with ATVO live timing by App Engineering, track cameras by trackcams22.com, and INDYCAR Onboard Cameras by our man himself, with custom INDYCAR TV overlay by Andrew Schulte of SKS Graphix. We are already on the starting grid, so we'll start by that. The first row will be Jake Williams from Wales alongside Juan Alfaro from Spain. In the rearview mirrors, they'll see Nick Longman from the United States alongside Chad Vance from Antarctica. The third row will be composed of Robert Ridgway and Jared Swaim. A fourth row of American people, Julius Brooks and George Ward, will compose that fourth row. In the rearview mirrors, they'll have Christopher Smith and Ty Charles. The sixth row will be composed of Thierry Vermeren and André Alfieri. The seventh row will be composed by Luke Ertl and Jonathan Murdoch. And on the eighth row, we'll have Gunnar Gunnarsson and Paul Mercado. Well, alongside me, as I said, is Dan Ench. Dan, turn one at this track is already tricky, but look at this! It's wet!
Yeah, this is a little wrench in the ointment, so to speak. But turn one, of course, the Shelton chicane, very, very critical. Under dry conditions, you're coming down the main straightaway, reaching about 158 in these cars, and you got to slam it down and get ready to go through the Shelton chicane at about 55. The Shelton chicane, very reminiscent, if you're familiar with Monza, it's just like the Prima Variante at the end of the main straight in Monza. And that is going to be a critical time, especially in the wet. I can't wait to see what kind of mayhem we're going to get into right now.
And look
but
at this.
The wet conditions, hopefully it'll keep drying up. I don't see as much as I saw in qualifying, so hopefully they can get through this in one piece.
And look at this, it's completely clear. So maybe we'll have a switch of a point where maybe some people will think about putting on dry tires.
Yeah, that's going to be the key here, is if it does start raining again, when do you put them on? Do you trust those slicks as much as possible, or do you go on the safe route? That is going to be critical. And I do see some spots now. We see a little bit of rooster tail coming up as they come through on this pace lap. So some may be thinking about an early change.
As we see the schedule, it's the start of a 5-week rush with tonight at Portland, next week at Montreal. In 2 weeks, it will be the Chicago Street Circuit, Milwaukee, the last oval in 4 weeks, and we top it off at Laguna Seca. This broadcast is sponsored by Jacob Collins, the community manager for the Indy NXT Oval and Road Official Series. If you're looking to get comfortable and familiar with the tracks and car that star in the weekly Indy NXT Road Series, check out two-time Racing USA 2000 Series champion Jacob Collins' track guides for each week of the iRacing Indy NXT Road Series schedule. It covers all the road courses you'll see throughout the Indy NXT Series as well. This is coverage of the Ray F1600, and I'll be stopped because the pace car will be entering pit lane. I'll finish that later, I'm sorry. And we'll be going, oh, you look at the back, someone had a snap over steer, but we're going green at Portland.
Yeah, they can't put that power down quick.
And they gotta be they gotta be mindful of this car. Someone's spinning, that's number one, the number one. Lots of chaos in turn one, Dan.
Oh, yeah, and you can see everybody is struggling right now because I don't see any wet tires out there at all, and they were all trying to go on regular tires, and that is not the way to go, apparently, right now, in a big mess through the Shelton chicane.
Oh, so maybe we had some gambler. You see the grooves here, those are... So Robert Ridgway is indeed on wet tires currently, but you may have some people being cheeky and on the dry tires. Alfaro in the slipstream of Ridgway, side by side, coming down to the next corner. It's a left-hander, so that will be quite complicated for Alfaro to do right the outside move, and he thinks better of it.
Yeah, now I apologize. It was hard to see who's got the wets and who doesn't, because usually you see a green stripe on the wet tires, and I didn't see that. So it's going to be interesting to see which ones really do have wets on.
And thanks to Julien Altena, we know what tires are, which tire are people on. And yes, Charles, Murdoch, Williams, and Brooks are indeed on dry tires.
Ridgway has been in command of this series since the get-go, and he's looking pretty good right now. Alfaro not giving him a whole lot of leeway.
Indeed. We see Paul McCardle, so dead last. We still have some people on the dry tires, and the key point then is the heat of these tires, and they're getting none of it right now. Oh, this is a battle for the lead here between Ridgeway and Alfaro. Again, side by side, coming out of the hairpin. And again, Ridgeway coming out of the lead and protecting that inside line here.
Longman's not going to let him get away too far. Falenza's kind of dropped back a little bit, but he's looked... Oh, we got some slipping and sliding going on with Alfaro as he tries to chase down the leader.
This final corner is very interesting, Danny, because I feel like there's multiple ways you can take it.
Oh, nice move on the inside. Coming through.
That's not an orthodox place to overtake there because it's quite a tight corner here.
Wow, you can see just how much spray is getting up into their halo there, and it's got to be a problem for these guys right now. They're not used to this kind of weather. Now, don't forget, otherwise, with the weather changes, they're not going to make any tire changes, so it'll be interesting to see if the guys who aren't wearing wet tires right now are going to plan on it drying out a little bit. If they do, Murdoch and Charles, along with Williams, they may end up with a great advantage here in a little while.
Yeah, because as we say, it's very clear out there. So the more these guys with their wet tires will go through the racing line, the more they'll pave a way. They'll create a line where our dry runners can maybe use. But in 40 laps, we'll see. That is a very good point. But look at the time; they are 17 seconds already back for the number one of Williams here. Dan, that's. That would be quite tough. Whoa! Nick Longman
having a problem.
Yeah, I don't know if he overcooked at that corner, but he's now under the threat of felons.
Got right through the runoff in good shape, right back out on the track. Didn't have to suffer too much on that one.
Wow! It looks like he braked way too late.
Yeah, totally missed the mark there.
That could have been very bad for the number 4 car with the GoDaddy paint scheme. That's a Danica Patrick paint scheme, if I'm not mistaken.
I didn't get a real good look at it. I don't think he's going to get penalized. I don't think he passed anybody or took an advantage, so I think he's okay where he is, though.
Martin making the move here on felons. No, that was Sway. Sorry, I read that because that's the sponsor is an alcohol brand. My bad for this one. Still a lot of spray here.
Smith and Gunnarsson now taking advantage of Williams' wet tires, dry tires, and have worked their way up to 9th and 10th respectively as Williams continues to slide back a little bit.
It's to wonder, when do you concede and that you made a mistake and you saying, okay, I had enough, let's get back into this wet tires. Julien say track is drying. Yeah, but look at the time they're losing. Will it be drying enough, fast enough, so that they can make a gain? So that's something I'm wondering about, but we'll see.
I'll tell you, the spot that really concerns me is as you come through turn 1, that big wet channel just to the right on the inside of turn 1. You try to twitch it back to the left too fast or miss that just a little bit, you're going to be right in that puddle and away you go.
All right, as we see Juan Alfaro trying to threaten Robert Ridgeway, we see the little green lights you see on the gaps. That's indicating that these guys are on the push to pass. If I'm not mistaken, these drivers have 65 seconds worth of push to pass, if I'm not mistaken, available to them. Of course, push to pass is deactivated on the first lap. I mean, if you can use push to pass on the first lap, that means you're probably a Penske driver.
Yeah, you know, I don't know if I'd want to use push to pass too much on a wet track like this. That'd be kind of like turning on your cruise control on a wet highway. You know what that'll do to your back tires if you get too much power down?
Yeah, that is if you're using a propulsion, a rear-wheel drive. I'm using front-wheel drive, but it will be the same, just different tires will be suffering.
I'm impressed with Alfaro hanging there with Ridgeway only, not even a second back. Well, now he's starting to lose a little.
Look at this! There's a car stranded outside of the track. I think that's probably Charles, the number 13 on dry tires. And that is indeed Ty Charles, stranded. I wonder if he's waiting for a moment to pass, because mistaken if I'm correct me if I'm wrong there, but I feel like you can get tanked actually on the grass on iRacing if it's wet.
I don't know how you can get back on if it's wet. I am surprised. I don't even see a local yellow there, do you?
I'm not on iRacing currently, so I wouldn't be telling you, but Sway getting quite cheeky on Longman. Trying to recover from his mistake in turn 1 a few laps ago. I feel like he's a bit too far here.
I'll tell you one thing, I don't really see the line drying off as quickly as I thought it would, especially with no additional precipitation. It still seems like it's staying pretty wet.
It's staying pretty wet, and that is spelling bad news for our dry runner in the name of Williams, Murdoch, and Charles. I feel like they were over people that started on the dry tires. Now let's take a second bite at it. This race is brought to you by Jacob Collins, the community manager for the Indy NXT Oval and Road Official Series. If you're looking to get comfortable and familiar with the tracks and car that star in the weekly Indy NXT Road Series, check out two-time iRacing USF 2000 Series champion Jacob Collins' track guides for each and every week of the Indy NXT Road Series schedule, which covers all the road courses you'll see throughout the Indy NXT iRacing Series as well. These include coverage of the Ray FF 1600 and the FIA F4 to help drivers working their way up the Formula Ladder systems on iRacing, start with a car that they are most familiar with and work their way up to the Laura IL15 featured in Indy NXT competition. Guides for upcoming weeks drop Friday at 9 a.m. US Eastern Time to give drivers a whole weekend to prepare for the coming week. If you're looking to help shape Indy NXT, voting for the Road Series for 2026 Season 4 is now open. Check out the voting poll on the Dallara IL15 portion of the iRacing forums or in the stream description. Feel free to join ongoing discussion related to all things iRacing Road to Indy in the IndyCar community Discord via the Road to Indy channel, like was linked in the stream description. Now that's a better bite than the lousy attempt that I had. Meanwhile, we had a battle that was between Swaim and Longman, if I'm not mistaken, and Swaim finally got the move here, Dan.
Yeah, not without some difficulty. He was coming through what is nowadays known as the festival curves between 10 and 12 that empty out onto the main straight. And he was slipping and sliding all through that, as you saw on the replay, and still managed to collect it up and gain some momentum coming down the main straight before he got to the Schulte chicane. Great job by him to get that position.
And we're seeing on the replay, we see some slight change of colors, like maybe like a drier portion on that front straight. This is actually a drag strip, if I'm not mistaken, because we see like it's on the scenic shot. So probably, yeah, you can see it's a bit drier, Sedan. So it's drying, but not much. And look at this, they're all on the right. Then they're trying to get those wet portion.
Yeah, they're trying to find some dry here and there. Oh, here comes an attempt.
That's Murdoch on the dry tires, and he's not having a good day.
I thought that was McCardle. No, that's Brooks. 12 Brooks, isn't it?
Yeah, that's Brooks that made the move, and that was Murdoch slipping and sliding.
Ah, yes. Yeah, that was a bold move right there, and yeah, you could see where each driver was trying to find his own dry lane coming down the main straight. They're searching. They're trying to find something they can work with.
Patience. They're hoping that the crossover moment will happen when the track will be dry enough where they can put some heat into the straight. Oh, there's someone around at the exit of the hairpin. Who is that, I wonder? That wasn't Brooks.
Was it Swaim? I think Swaim might have collected it in and managed to stay on the road.
Yeah, but that was probably Swaim, or actually Swaim lost third place to Longman. Oh, and the car is in the grass here in the final corner. That was Smith. And he's spitting. Interesting.
Let's see what happened here.
Oh, yeah, it does happen on this final complex of corners here. That you're coming in too hot, and now you're getting into the grass. Now I'm wondering, was it for repairs for Smith, or did it? No, he's still on the wet tires.
Yeah, I don't think he hit anything. I just think he wants to change the tires for some reason.
No, negative. He's switching onto the dry tires. That's
okay, I don't know if it's all that dry yet, but okay.
Well, that outlap will be critical as we see Swaim second time on the inside of Longman in turn 1. He will make the move as a car spinning right in front of them.
Oh,
that was a Code Brown.
Yep. Needing a change of driver's suit there.
I think that was the number 13 of Charles there that spun right in front of them. And no, that was Christopher Smith who just came out on dry tires. And,
yeah, he might be rethinking those dry tires now.
Yeah. A-firm Ghost Rider. Too much on the curb. And the car got unsettled and
they were cold on top of that too, so he had little chance of making that turn.
Yeah, reminder, they do not have tire blankets on these Firestone tires. And Alfaro, credit to him, he's still only less than 4/10 behind Ridgeway. The gap reached up to a second, and now the number 3 is now on the counter attack, right behind the number 2 of Ridgeway.
And Ridgeway and Alfaro really leaving the rest of the crew behind.
Luke Ertl, and he's black flagged here, Dan. So probably too fast entering pit lane. We'll see. No. Huh. Well, I don't know why he had a black flag for. Well, and he came out.
I thought he broke down in time.
Yeah. Yes. So probably that was for something else. Nice. He looks slow enough. Oh, look at this. He doesn't have the pit limiter on, and then for now a few months now, iRacing is now more strict on speeding than before.
Yeah, that's not a good thing. That'll get you a black flag. Alfaro just kind of biding his time right now, staying about a half a second behind Ridgeway. Swaim is starting to catch up just a little bit, making a little progress.
And I think it's getting a bit darker now, which is not a good news for the people still on dry tires. I mean, they're all a lap down now. That situation took a turn for the worse for dry runners.
Of course, this is only about a 2-mile track, just shy of a 2-mile track, so cars getting lapped fairly regularly here already. We've only got 9 left on the lead lap.
Yeah, that is insane. And a reminder, 2 mile, that's the length of the Michigan International Race Speedway. So yes, I mean we do see some dry patches, but not enough. Track temp 21 degrees Celsius. That is super cool. That is
showing Williams out, and I'm not sure what happened to him. Maybe we can go back and see if we can find out what happened to Williams.
Is it probably a well, I'm done because I know I'm a lap down and I'm just quitting. That could be.
Yeah, that could be.
That could be it because I gambled on dry tires at the start for the number 1, and that will be a terrible iRacing day. As Ridgeway had a bad moment, as we see Williams, not having a good time, and look at the spray coming out of the rear diffuser of that car.
Kind of thinking I can't really trust the iRacing rain model right now because it looks like he's on some dry pavement and still throwing up a rooster tail, but maybe I'm wrong. Oh, there it is. There's what happened.
Yeah. With the Andretti. Oh, yep. That'll catch you. Oh, and he hit the wall.
Yeah, he did. He backed right into it.
Not race sanding damage, but, well... He could have gone back out, but at this point... Gunnarsson on Vermeuren. Vermeuren. He got wide onto the grass, and Gunnarsson will say, "Thank you very much, I'll take that," as we see another car behind them, passing them. It's a lap car, actually. That's the number 7. That's Murdoch. Interesting. Because he looked to have kind of a bit of a pace here, didn't he? As we see 2 cars. That's Smith. On Brooks again. That's a... That was 2 times we saw, yes, a lap car, yeah? But dry tires... getting the advantage on wet tires.
We saw him coming out of the pits and spin it on cold tires, but now he looks like it's got it hooked up pretty good. He's making some progress here.
Yeah, he gained 2 seconds. That lap 12 was probably his first lap on the dry tires, and now he keeps improving. Like 13, he did an 8.9, and then he improved 6 tenths on it on the lap 14. Did the same lap on lap 15. Dropped down to 1/7 on lap 15 and 16. So there is some improvement on those dry tires. And Ridgeway will come into the... Oh, he faked it! He faked it!
He wasn't trying to come in anywhere. He was trying to miss a wall. That could be kind of a scary pit entry. Poland, isn't it? That was actually Alfaro that looked like he came out of turn 12 way wide and went up toward the wall, but managed to stop it before it got too far.
We're looking at number 13, Eventide Charles, getting the advantage over Ertl, number 14. Murdoch just overtook Brooks. Those dry tires are finally getting some speed. It only took 18 laps. Gilles Brooks, the number 12. What happened to him? Oh, came in too hard, locking the inside. And I'll get you, Dan.
Yeah, you got a little too confident there on those drying track parts.
Now, Dan, we know these guys. They have a lot of overlays. They know what tires some people are. They know some of these guys started on dry tires. Now they're hearing... because sometimes the spotter will tell you this car did the fastest lap, and probably Smith and Murdoch are doing some pretty fast lap right now. And yes, Murdoch, he did the fastest lap on a 106.3, and you're like, okay, I know a dry runner just did the fastest lap.
Yeah, and we're just barely reaching the halfway point here. There's a possibility if he can get back on the lead lap, only being a 2-mile track, he could actually run him down if he's the only one out there on dry tires.
I mean, if these guys take the decision also to pit for dry tires, the longer they wait, the better it will be for Murdoch, because Murdoch will catch them while they're slower than him, and while they'll pit, that's even more time gain. So that will be very interesting to follow into those last 20 laps. What will the leaders do, Dan?
Well, I think Ridgway and Alfaro will probably stay out, but we may see some changes with the guys that are 6 to 8 seconds behind them. We might see them duck in for some tires for the second half of this race. But we can't see the sky like they can see either. They may be looking at some more rain before too long.
The driver standings after 11 rounds of this 2026 season of the iRacing Indy NXT Series. Robert Ridgway is pounding that field with a 306-point lead over Jarek Curry. Ivan Machado Perez, who was infamously known at the start of the season then for whopping everyone's butt on road courses, is in third place with 910 points, with 700 points behind Robert Ridgway. Aiden Kell in fourth position, 52 points behind Ivan Machado Perez, and Zach Purcell in fifth with 828 points. Whoa, that was the number 8 of Gunnarsson going wide.
Talk about getting the door slammed on you. Gunnarsson looked like he had the position, and the door just smashed shut on him.
As Murdoch just overtook McArdle, and Smith also overtook McArdle, so I wonder if McArdle is actually in the pits or not. They're actually kind of far from him, and oh, look at how slow he is. And he got into the grass, and that's the position lost. The broadcast schedule here on the Velocity Run Racing broadcast channel. Next week, the iRacing Indy NXT Series will be at Montreal on August 15th. On the next day, the International INDYCAR League will be at the Iowa Speedway at 3:30 p.m. European time. The Global INDYCAR Challenge will be at Zandvoort. Oh well, I guess Julien will be very happy to produce that show. It will be at 8 p.m. The Indy Euro Series will be on August 19th at the Schulte Motor Speedway at 8:30 p.m. And the Velocity Online Racing INDYCAR Series will have its second run as we have a car into the pits. Ridgway into the pits, Dan.
That surprises me. I really thought he'd try to go the distance, given that they had a good 6 or 7 seconds back to the third place car and beyond. This really surprises me. We'll see if it pays off for him.
Enter the pit. No, Julien. No, I will not do that joke. As probably Blackwall Firestone tires, as we see Longman also electing to pit. Ridgway coming out the pit, getting wobbly because, yes, while the racing line may be dry, Dan, the pit lane is still pretty wet.
Yeah, that's another problem they have to contend with. You know, if the top 9 all pit for dry tires, it might play right into Murdoch and Smith, and they might find themselves right back in this thing.
Yeah, Murdoch could be very well placed because we'll see a Ridgway coming out. That was a 30-second stop, so probably Murdoch, he could be looking at Alfieri, at Gunnarsson, at Vermeulen.
Pretty good gap between Ward in 4th and Ridgway now in 5th, but Ward's still on the wet tires.
Alfaro into the pits, I think, Dan, because he lost the lead over Felons. I think Longman is struggling on the cold tires currently because Vermeulen just overtook him. Jared Swain into the pits. Also, dry tires. Ward, dry tires.
Oh, this is shaking out to be something pretty interesting here with about 17 to go.
And look at this. Alfaro being undercut by Ridgway, who's now got a bit of time to heat up his tires. He's now 3 seconds behind him. Chad Felons, and he's losing. He's losing a lot of ground on Robert Ridgway, Dan. He's losing. I'm seeing that gap melting like hot chocolate under the sun.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, and Swaim making quick work of the wet running Alfieri. Right now, you need to pit. If you're on a wet tires, you need to absolutely pit right now. And another car into the pits. Probably.
Well, obviously, Filens is losing more than a second a lap, so he's not going to win this race if he doesn't get some dries on. Or is he waiting for it to rain? You never know.
These guys have probably more information. We don't know what the forecast could be, and on iRacing, anything can happen. You can have a shower of rain coming out of left field as Vermeulen. Wow, having a little snap of oversteer at the exit of the final corner. Gap is now down to 10 seconds, then. It is melting.
Yeah, I think Filens is just hoping for a little precipitation along the way here.
I think Filens is actually in the pits. Yes, he is.
Yeah, there he comes. I think he waited too long. He should have got in about 10 seconds ago as far as lead time.
He should have pitted yesterday for the number 10. Oh, that's Gunnar Gunnison without a front wing. What happened there? Number 8. He was already on dry tires, so that will be another stop to do. Already he was with the number 14. Oh, lost it and clipped the number 14. And the nose cone actually went missing before it popped back up, Dan.
And you got a little relief from iRacing.
A little, I mean, it's still a mandatory pit stop here, Dan, because you don't want to go through that turn 3, 4, 5 without a front wing.
I'm not sure why Gunnarsson lost it that way. He's on dry tires, and it looked like he was doing okay as far as finding some wet pavement to run on, but he just flat lost it.
It looked like, as we saw Robert Ridgway going to that wet patch, he probably went to wet patch. That was between Murdoch and Smith, actually. Murdoch finding second life. Oh, and he lost it! I just jinxed him! As I was saying, he found a second life on these dry tires, then. He lost the control of his number 7, aisle 15. Oh, no.
Yeah, and he had been leading Smith for quite a while there. Smith found an opportunity, went by him, and I think Murdoch might have tried to overreact and catch back up and just pushed it a little too hard.
Still, now 2 cars left on wet tires, on 3 actually. Alfieri running 4th, Brooks running 11th, and Ertl running last.
Well, Ridgway came out of that exchange with another 2 seconds on Alfaro. Swaim still only about 7, almost 8 seconds behind the leader, so he kind of drew even on that pit exchange. But Alfaro, the big loser in that.
Alfieri still holding out, and his tires must be screaming hot right now. The gap is now 2.8 seconds between Robert Ridgway and Juan Alfaro. Reminder that this race is brought to you by Jacob Collins, the community manager for the Indy NXT Oval and Road Official Series. If you're looking to get comfortable and familiar with the tracks and car that star in the weekly Indy NXT Road Series, check out 2-time iRacing USF 2000 Series champion Jacob Collins' strat guides for each and every week of the Indy NXT Road Series schedule, which covers all the road courses you'll see throughout the Indy NXT iRacing Series as well. These include coverage of the Ray FF1600 and the FIA F4 to help drivers working their way up the Formula Ladder system on iRacing. Start with the car they are most familiar with and work their way up to the Dallara 15 featured in Indy NXT competition. Guides for upcoming weeks drop Friday at 9 a.m. US Eastern Time to give drivers a whole weekend to prepare for the coming week. If you're looking to help shape Indy NXT, voting for the Road Series for 2026 Season 4 is now open. Check out the voting poll on the aisle 15 portion of the iRacing forums or in the stream description. Feel free to join ongoing discussion relating to all things iRacing Road to Indy in the IndyCar community Discord via the Road to Indy channel, likewise linked into the stream description. So this is Felons on Alfieri. Reminder, Alfieri still onto those wet tires, and it's just, at this point, Dan, if you're in the radio communication for Alfieri, you just say, "Look, man, just pit, put on some tires, please."
Yeah, right. I felt sorry for Smith just a few minutes ago that he had finally gotten himself back on the lead lap because of everybody else pitting. Smith, of course, had pitted early for dry tires and made up quite a bit of distance and managed to get himself back on the lead lap just in time to get passed by Ridgeway again. So now he finds himself down the lap one more time. But he made a good charge up to that point.
A reminder, he spun exiting the pits when he put on those dry tires. So good on Smith. A very good comeback for the number 9. Gap. Well, we can go through the field with Robert Ridgeway leading the race. He started 5th. He's now in 1st. Behind him, kind of charging. He gained 7 tenths since we did the commercial announcement. Juan Luis Alfaro in 2nd, chasing for a win. 19 seconds behind will be Jared Swain from the USA. He started 6th. He's now up to 3rd. In 4th, started 8th, it's George A. Ward. He'll be followed by the number 10, Chad Felons. He started 4th. He's now 5th from Antarctica. Behind him, the one of the rare wet runner from Brazil. He started 12th. He's now in 6th position. It's Andre Alfieri. In 7th, he started 3rd. Now in 7th, Nick Longman in the number 4 GoDaddy car. Behind him will be Christopher Smith. He started 9th. He's now up to 8th. One of the first people to jump onto the dry tires. Behind him, the Frenchman, starting 11th and now in 9th, Thierry Vermeren. Completing the top 10 will be Jonathan Murdoch. He started 14th and now he gained 4th position for now. The 11th position is occupied by Gunnar Gurnsson from Iceland. He started in 15th for the number 8 car. Behind him, Julius Brooks, he started 7th and now in 12th. Behind him, the number 16 of Paul McCardle, started 16th and is now 13th. The 14th position will be occupied by Ty Charles. He started 10th and he's now currently in the pits again. Luke Erdl probably has DNF because we don't see him. He started 13th and now in 15th. And the poleman for today, Jake R. Williams, is dead last. As it is heating up, Dan, because Alfaro is now all back to 1.5 seconds behind the number 2, Robert Ridgeway.
Yeah, and I'm going to give a tip of the hat to the 5th place contender right now, Alfieri. He has run this whole race on wets and is still in 6th place. And how he made those tires work this long and that well, he may possibly get passed by Longman before all is said and done. But still, Alfieri on pure wet tires, managing to nail down a top 7 more than likely. I gotta tip my hat to him.
If he can hang on, he has only 8.5 laps to go. So this race went on by quickly, Dan. Shows how quickly time can pass when you're having fun. And for Juan Alfaro, whoa, he nearly.
Oh, that was close.
That could have been a race ender for the number 3 from Spain. And if my eyes didn't deceive me, Dan, I think I saw a lap car just in front of these two guys.
May end up being a factor here in just a couple of laps. Only 7 to go, but yeah, that's the last thing Ridgeway wants to see is a bunch of lap traffic in front of him.
Yeah, now it all comes down to when you're catching that lap car, and hopefully that's the number 12 of Julius Brooks. You'd hope he just steps aside and let the leaders have their fight cleanly, but it doesn't seem like he'll do it just right now, which is bad news for Ridgeway, because look at this. Just him being away costed half a second to the race leader, and Brooks is now going into the pits.
And Alfaro now only about a second behind, so this is tightening up quickly.
Well, I'm probably sure Ridgeway had a few choice of words for Julius Brooks, because that could have caused big. Ridgeway, he led 30 laps today. The only laps he didn't lead, well, that's because he pitted to put on dry tires. He has been dominant today, but the number 3 car of Alfaro has been as strong as him. And now we'll have a battle between these two for the remaining 6 laps after this one. Alfaro onto the bottom.
Longman closing in on Alfieri, trying to get that 6th spot taken away from him.
Yep, and he's now down under a second. Yeah, those will be 6 very long laps for the number 5 car with his wet tires, trying to salvage hopefully a top 10 out of this race.
Yeah, he's right there on him now.
Yeah, Alfaro was so aggressive going onto the curb as... Wait, hang on, is that rain I'm seeing?
Yep.
Yeah, Longman we saw Longman overtaking Alfieri. Now this could throw a spanner into the works if those were. Oh, you can tell those wet tires have no grip left. They have no grip left, Dan.
Oh yeah, that was easy work for Longman getting by there. But still, I'm still proud of Alfieri coming. He's going to get a 7th place finish out of this, I think.
And hey, if the rain drops harder, it's not out of the question that he jumps back on Longman. Unless iRacing's playing trick on us and it's not raining that much. Oh yes, it is raining!
Oh my goodness.
It kind of reminds me, I don't remember which, I think it was Brad Binder who won that race in Austria for MotoGP when it was pouring into the final laps and riders had to switch bikes to put on wet tires, and Binder stayed out on dry tires and he couldn't turn the bike on the final lap. It was so sucked, but he managed to win. So this will be all over dry running tires, and if you're Alfieri right now, you're like, hang on, I can't get that 6th position back.
Yeah, and it's not really a downpour, but it may change even more here as we go. Well, it's starting to come down a little heavier too. This is going to get interesting.
And it will be a pure test of driver skill. 5 laps to go, Dan. It's not enough to pit for the wet tires.
No way you can pit now. You got to ride what you got.
The dice have been thrown, and now it's only your skill. This is where analog drivers surpass digital drivers, as they say. The 2020 Portuguese Grand Prix, where Kimi Raikkonen went from 17th to 5th in a single lap on dry tires on a damp track.
And add to all this, they're coming up on Longman very quickly. They're going to have lap traffic play a factor in this as well. This is going to be one of Ridgeway's more testing moments this season.
Ridgeway's like, are you kidding me? It's raining, I'm on dries, and now there's a lap car. As look at this, the number 9 for Christopher Smith is hitting for wet tires. Inconceivable.
He may actually, yeah, that's surprising, but it may work to his benefit. It doesn't seem like there's enough laps to make it happen, but it might.
Yeah, because reminder, like those laps are super short, 2 miles, 1 minute. The 2 leaders, the slight mistake, just 1 inch off of the racing line, Dan, and it could be all over for these 2 guys.
If I'm a bet man, I'm thinking if there's a miscue, it's going to happen in Monty Shelton's chicane, that's for sure.
Well, Alfaro was very snappy coming out of that complex of corners. He's still half a second behind Robert Ridgway. Lap traffic will be of huge importance for these 2. Alfaro has 10 seconds left to push to pass. Ridgway has only fews of push to pass with only 3 seconds left.
And Longman actually has 2 in front of him right now. Ridgway has Longman and Felenz in front of him right now to make things even more difficult.
2 laps to go. 4 miles remaining for this race tonight at Portland International Raceway. The top 2 separated by only half a second and coming into light traffic on the worst part of the track to come to light traffic, and it looked like Robert Ridgway wasn't really having fun through there. As it seems the rain has let up. And these two guys are still
Who can negotiate the traffic? That's what it's coming down to.
These 2 guys in front of him, they're not fighting for position, no. Doesn't seem like it. So that was Smith, I think, letting by Ridgway, but getting in between Ridgway and Alfaro, and then I think that's game, set, and match for Ridgway and Alfaro. As it's still pouring.
Oh, Alfaro really got snookered there. Good move by Ridgway.
White flag, ladies and gentlemen, for this race at the Portland International Raceway. Robert Ridgway, he started 5th today. He had an excellent start of this race, and is now kind of cruising because he has now a second lead. Oh, the number 14 of Virtual went into the grass. That could have been for Ridgway. Thank God he didn't. That didn't end badly for me because I wouldn't have been happy. But coming on to the final stretch. He has only 3 corners left to negotiate for the number 2 of Robert Ridgway, who is pounding this season of the iRacing Indy NXT Series. Robert Ridgway coming to the checkered flag to win at Portland International Raceway. Another one.
Just a fantastic run by Ridgway. He handled every situation about as well as you possibly could. He put his tires back to dry at the right time. He got a little bit lucky on the weather at the end, but pulled off a great maneuver to kind of snooker Alfaro on the last lap, and then had to survive a change of shorts with one of the lap cars on the last lap, almost losing it right in front of him. But a great job of Ridgway of contending with every situation, and a great win for him.
Before we come on to the race result there, I would like your honest opinion of this race. For the first time in the iRacing Indy NXT Series, well, at least for this slot that we're usually broadcasting on the Velocity Online Racing broadcast channel, we saw rain, we saw strategies. How would you rate this race?
This was one of the more enjoyable Indy NXT races I've ever seen, and a lot of it had to do with the weather conditions and making decisions on when to change tires and why to change tires. It had a lot to do with 2 gentlemen that were going to fight tooth and nail regardless of the situation. I think Alfaro was right there biding his time, waiting for the last few laps to really make a challenge of it, trying to save his tires a little bit. And just for lap traffic and a little bit of precipitation, it ended up going Ridgway's direction. But man, what a great race, and what a lot of fun that was to call. Seb, thanks for having me along for the ride.
And on that bombshell, we'll have the results for this race for week 12 for the iRacing Indy NXT Series at Portland. It's another win for Robert Ridgway, who is stamping his dominance onto the series. Juan Luis Alfaro will come home in a very well-earned second place. He kept Robert Ridgway honest. Jared Swaim finishes at a well-deserved third position in front of George A. Ward. And Chad Fellens completes the top 5. Nick Longman comes on in 6th in front of André Alfieri. Thierry Vermeuren finishes in 8th in front of Jonathan Murdoch. And to run up the top 10 will be Gunnar Gunnarsson. And then Edge will print to you the final few position of the standings.
Christopher Smith coming in 11th today. A good effort from him. Julius Brooks and Paul McCardle, 12 and 13. Luke Ertl had some difficulties along the way, but soldiered through for a 14th place finish. Ty Charles and Jake Williams rounding out your field of 16, and a good effort from one and all.
And it will be on that bombshell that we will say goodbye to all of you who were watching. Thank you for watching this race here on the Velocity Online Racing broadcast channel. Reminder, we will see you next week at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve for round 13th of the iRacing Indy NXT Series. We will be seeing you there. This has been Sebastian Kinder for the Velocity Online Racing broadcast channel, alongside Dan Edge, broadcast director Julien Altena. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.